name's Emily Kraus. My chapter was chapter 14, The Death on the Nile. And this is where Jackie finds Lynette dead. The first scene is the boat, and then you hear Jackie scrambling and because she found Lynette. And also in the scene, Dr. Bessner and Colonel Reyes examine Lynette, and they try to figure out how she died. And Dr. Bessner is also in there, and he gets potentially blamed. He's a suspect for the murder as well. So this is just my process work for my first slide. My character development here, the top is Dr. Bessner. He had very small glasses. He looks kind of like Perot, who is the bottom one. But with Perot, I put the stem of his glasses on top, and they weren't connected to his face. He had to hold them up. Colonel Reyes is in the middle with the mustache. I made Dr. Bessner white because he's innocent, he's kind of pure. He's just kind of looking at the situation for what it is, trying to figure out how she died by her physical, like her scar wound. And Colonel Reyes was black because it wasn't completely white. I thought white was too stark, so I used an off gray. Dr. Bessner is gray. Colonel Reyes is black, to use the black color and to emphasize that he was just kind of in the background helping Perot. And then Perot was gold. It looks yellow on this slide. But he's gold because he's kind of like, he's the brains of the situation. So he's just, in this scene, he's the focus because he's doing the blaming. My development here, my door, and then I made curtains for the window, and then I made a bed, and this is supposed to be Lynette laying in the bed, and her, this slide is from Lynette's perspective, so like from her dead body, what is going on from the scene. So this is my final slide for this scene. It's in Lynette's room or her cabin, and she's laying in bed, and Perot, Colonel Reyes and Dr. Bessner are talking about how things happened, how the murder they thought happened between 12 and 2 in the morning, and they're trying to figure out who killed her and how it could have happened. So this is just kind of the setup of her room, my first major scene. My second scene, I chose when Perot told the story of how he thought Dr. Bessner could have killed Lynette. And so I made Lynette, you can tell this is supposed to be Dr. Bessner, he's red now, but the masculine and feminine shapes, I made Lynette a little bit smaller and with the red hair, because she supposedly killed Simon, but you find out later she didn't. So she's holding a gun, and later she's going to be in a window. So, but Dr. Bessner, I chose to be red here because I wanted to depict that he was the one who saw the murder happen, and he later was, blamed for taking the gun and shooting Lynette. So that, not anger, but sneakiness, I guess you could say, was depicted through the red. That's how I chose to finalize the slide. So I made the curtains again, and then I put Lynette in the window. And then this is from the deck of the boat. So first I tried to make the deck angled, and then I added, the crease of the boat, and then her, like the view from outside of her cabin. I added Jackie, and then I added Dr. Bessner looking in from the window, so he's viewing Jackie shoot Simon. And then for my final, I made it black because it was at nighttime, and I thought that it made the red of Dr. Bessner pop out, and same with Jackie. For my third scene, I showed Perot sniffing the nail polish bottles. So here's my development for the nail polish bottles. One of them was strictly red and another was kind of goldish, it had some gold hues in it. So I made some crescents and put them in there, and made a toilet too, to make it look like it was a bathroom. So, and this is Perot, I made him gold again, and I put his mustache in because in the final you don't see his eyes. So they're wearing robes, that's why there's white crosses here, and then at the bottom is Colonel Reyes, because he's in the background. So here's the development of my slide. The bathroom's very small, so I showed the door to the left, and I didn't make him opening the bottle, I just had the bottle open already. There's a shelf in the toilet to show that he's in the bathroom and not some random room. And here's the final. Colonel Reyes is in the back, because Perot is talking to Colonel Reyes about what he thinks about the situation, but he doesn't specifically say that, Lynette smells like nail polish or blood or anything on the wall. So I left the bottle open. So this is my final slide for all three. Here's the first scene, the second, and the third. Yes?
I like how you use the simple shapes, and I like how you use the red and gold to kind of trash each other. Really go really well. But for this last scene with him in the bathroom, I just feel like Perot's a little the proportions of Perot to the nail polish are a little off, because he looks almost like he's nail polish is almost half his height.
Sure, okay,
Looks a little too big.
okay.
Or Perot can make it smaller or whatever. It just looks a little weird.
Okay, I'll definitely fix that, thank you. Nora?
I was gonna say, I liked how you set up this scene. I think that you got the perspective really well, and it shows that the bathroom's really small, and I like how it looks like the shelf is kind of hanging on the screen itself in a way, and like the screen is kind of like a mirror almost.
Thank you. Connor?
Can you go to the multiple slide view?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
In your first final slide, what is the big white
This one?
rectangle? Yeah. Right, like in the middle of the bottom of the frame.
That's the bed.
So that's the headboard.
Yeah.
If it's from her view, she shouldn't see the headboard that's behind her, so it should show like just her body.
I was thinking about that. I actually laid down and looked at my feet, like how can I show this from my body if I'm laying
Yeah,
here?
maybe like the belly and then like feet or something.
Okay, should I just cut this headboard out and make her feet really big? And then maybe just adjust the background, so you don't see as much of the room itself. You see her feet and then the figures are bigger? Is
Yeah,
that-
I mean, definitely find a way to get the headboard out,
Okay.
if that's what you're going for, because
Okay.
it kind of like, I don't know, to me that just makes it kind of confusing.
Okay,
Perspective wise, and then the window is kind of like tilted where it should be in line with the molding and the bottom of the floor. And also in the bathroom one, your final slide, the window is like a little cocked from where the toilet is. So for like perspective, they should be on the same plane.
okay. When I had the window shape, I copied them so they were all the same. And when I rotated it, it did this kind of thing, so I was like, okay. I don't know if I should just completely construct a new window, or if I should just leave it, so I decided to leave it.
Maybe you don't need a window over there anyway.
Yeah, I left it there, and it looked really blank. So maybe if I moved the.
But I think you're gonna get some suggestions about what to do with this. The whole room is a lot of empty space.
Yeah,
You're gonna move us much forward toward the characters and bring this forward to us. And I think they have some other suggestions about that. Is the figures will be bigger, the bed will be bigger. There's no reason why you have to see that wall over there.
okay, perfect. Jessica? Okay.
If you wanted to do it from Lynette's perspective, maybe do it at eye level, like the whole scene.
Okay,
So then, like, just if she was looking straight across the room, like what she would be looking at.
okay,
So without like any angle.
okay.
And also, since they're all like trying to figure out what happened, maybe adding thought bubbles would help. So to display what they're thinking, maybe.
No,
No?
I'm seeing way too many of these conversation tags here. This is not a cartoon, okay? We want to represent what's going on in the scene. We want the visual to do it. We gotta stop adding all this meta discourse, that explains the scene. Gotta make the scene show it. So if you can do something, perhaps if they're bigger figures, you could put expression to the faces, for example, or there are other ways you might solve that. But no adding of the thought bubbles.
Anyone else?
Did you have an idea over here?
Somebody said it.
Okay. Other comments and questions? What about the color scheme? Can we go back to the full thing? So we look at the slides as a whole. See, I think it's the first scene really needs to work. It needs a little bit of what you had in the last scene, which is letting the character get really close to us. Because it's not the set that we're that interested in. We don't need to worry about windows and doors. Yes, they can be there, but we want to get focused on those characters and make them somehow represent the action to us. Others?
Yeah, why did you actually choose yellow?
I chose, well, it looks yellow here, but it's actually more of a gold hue. I chose it because it shows not like royalness and majesty, but it's like brings smells intelligence. So I did some color
I was just wondering if you had
research.
no idea.
Okay, thank you very much. Now,